Hey everyone, I'm Sal Cosentino. I'm your CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Cloud Architect, Sales Professional, and Trainer with years of experience closing deals in cars, real estate, mortgages, and insurance. In this course, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you how sales warriors think, sales warriors act, and close step by step. It's all about closing here. Whether you're a rookie struggling with objections, hesitant on calls, or just want to level up your sales game, this course is designed. This class part of the course is designed to give you practical tools, real life role play scenarios, and strategies that work in real life. By the end of this series, you'll know how to handle objections like a pro, lead conversations confidently, and close deals consistently, even in tough situation or the toughest situation. So grab a notebook and pen, pay close attention, and let's turn you into a true sales warrior. I want to start off by building what we're going to build in this training is sort of like going to be like a real training experience where we're going to be talking about a few things here, a few points, and I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is kind of get you guys to. We're gonna do this for car sales, real estate, mortgage, and insurance, and to make this a little bit bigger for you. And I'm going to start off by putting this, and then this one, we're going to see the objection. We're going to see how the rookie in sales handles it. We're going to see how the sales professional handles it. We're going to see how the sales warrior handles it. And the close that actually happens. Again, in my live classes, I do this with your team, and we go over the subjects here, and we kind of manipulate the uh, role play scenarios. But in this case, I'm doing it to myself. So I'll be the sales rookie, I'll be the prospect, and I'll be the sales professional, and I'll be the sales warrior, right? So again, we're all fictitious. And again, we're gonna do this for car sales. We're gonna do this for real estate, mortgage, and insurance. So I'm gonna start off with sales, car sales, and closing on the lot. So what I'm going to usually do is I usually find an experienced car salesman that works in an experienced car dealership, right? Not the small lots, even closing on the lot. Like back in the days, you would go outside and you get your people come to your lot and you would walk over to them and make conversation, right? So in this one, we're going to talk about the objection. So the objection here is I need to think about it. How would a sales rookie handle that? Right. So remember, objection, how the rookie and sales handles it, how the sales professional sales warrior handles it, and the close that actually happens. Right. So car salesman, and I'm gonna put this here because I want you to see my examples here. Right. These are the examples. So example one, right? Car sales, then example two. And we're gonna go through all examples, right? This one is real estate. Example three, we're gonna do mortgage. And example four is insurance, right? And that could be any type of insurance, car insurance, it could be life insurance, it could be any insurance that you want it to be. So just remember that. And again, these examples are going to be subjected to these four steps, right? So we're looking at the car salesman. The car salesman's got 20 years experience, and come along a here comes along a sales professional, sorry, a prospect with husband and wife, and the prospect says the objection here is I need to think about it, right? So you have your prospect, you have your rookie, and we're gonna do what a sales professional will handle it, and we're gonna do what the close that actually happens, right? So usually I would grab somebody and would role play with them, but in this scenario, what I want to do is I'm gonna just talk to you and kind of give you that visualization. Remember, and I love to understand, like, especially me, because especially when salesmen, they just they're very successful. Uh, I like to say that the person who visualizes, and remember this, visualizes and practices success, or practice success, who practices success, and I just came up with this right now. Who practices success? Success is supposed to happen. And just think of it as, again, just think of it as something that you need to visualize as a person, and you have to understand that the person who visualizes it, who practices success is supposed to happen. Now you're asking, what does that mean, Sam? So when you look at the visualization prospect, you're looking at the picture, the outcome. You have to kind of picture the outcome that you want, right? So when you look at the person who visualizes, that person has to picture the outcome, right? When you practice success, right, you're repeating the behaviors, and then actions that lead to it. And when you want that result to happen, you want the success you want the result. The success is where becomes inevitable, because you've trained both the mind and the habits, right? You can kind of break this down and kind of understand, but this is a saying that I go by every day, and I tell my students sometimes that the person who visualizes and who practices success, the success is going to happen. So remember, the person who visualizes and who practices success is supposed to happen when people have a win inside of the business, and they go on say, and then they go on, and then they start coming out and they start crying, and they never practice that. It's because why? Because it's such an emotion. It's such a hard emotion, and and adds and the odds are lower, right? So you have to kind of understand, like, like how what this actually means. And again, visualization, when a person who visualizes, that person's picturing the outcome they want, and you never want to go ahead of yourself. And who practice success, right? Practicing means that you're repeating the behaviors and actions that lead to it, right? You're practicing behaviors and actions that lead to it, right? So there's always behaviors, there's always actions. And when you look at the result, right, the result is supposed to happen, right? When we're looking at the result, that result becomes inevitable because you've trained both mind and habit, right? So you've trained yourself to do that. And when you're visualizing, you're clearly imagining the success that you want. You picture the outcome in your mind as if it's already real, right? So as a car salesman, your practice is to take consistent action and repeat the behaviors that you see, right? That will lead to the success that you want, right? So as a result, right, you're combining either a clear vision with practicing and practicing and practicing consistently, yet you're setting yourself up so that the success is highly likely. You're training both your mind and habits, whatever habits you have, and emotions that you have, both the mind and to create what you really want. So in short, you're seeing it in your mind and actually and acting on it consistently makes it happen, right? So that'll kind of help you understand what I mean. And I'm gonna write this down for you guys. So right, and so seeing it in your mind and acting on it consistently makes it happen, right? Makes it happen. So think about it. The person who visualizes and the person who's successful, the success is supposed to happen. So let's go back to that car salesman's objection. And the first objection, I'm going to make this many, like just message the word, message me the word close, and I'll send you over some PDFs on this or other examples. That way you have that in the back of your pocket, and you guys have that in your drives or in your computers or printed out as a cheat sheet if you want, right? So just let me know what you guys think about that later. Okay, so objection here. I need to think about it. You're a car salesman. You're outside. You're talking to a husband and wife. You're outside in the with a lot that has about 300 or 400 cars, let's say, for example, and you're walking around and it's a Sunday afternoon and it's a nice day and you guys are selling cars and you have all your cars showing facing the street and the people would come in and look at the cars and ask questions, right? So you're a car salesman, prospect. I need to think about it. That's your objection here, right? I need to think about it. The prospect says, I need to think about it. So, rookie, as a sales rookie, if you're a sales rookie or just a rookie in general with this type of scenario, you're gonna say, yeah, no problem. Take your time. I'll be here if you need you. I've seen people like that all the time, just to get away from a customer's question. Like, well, yeah, take your time. Like you're just pushing the customer away. What just happened? Right? Oh yeah, no problem. Take your time. I'll be here if you need me. I'll copy this out for you guys, right? Just so you guys have the visual, right? And I'll put the visual here for car salesman, right? And this is car salesman. This could be anybody, but just you're a rookie. Like you still don't get it. Like you still don't understand. Like, yeah, no, take your time. I'll be here if you need me. It's like leave, customer. I don't need you anymore, right? Like, what just happened here? Rookies accepted uncertainty here. And I've seen car salesmen with 20 years experience or just coming off a training course because you have to be licensed here and have all the training and licensing that you need, right? Um, and I'll be here for you if you need me. Like, okay, go. Like, leave me alone. Like, you guys go do what you gotta do. Like, okay, if I was a prospect, I'd be like, okay, this guy doesn't want to work. This guy doesn't want the deal. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to invite me in. He doesn't make me feel comfortable. He hasn't asked me who I am. He hasn't asked me my name. He hasn't asked me anything about the car, any Carfax that are involved, any years, mileage, issues, accidents, this, and that. And even if it's a used car dealership, and sometimes you'll have a car dealership that have the new section, you have the used or lease section, right? And you're asking these questions. You're not even asking these questions. And that to me is like a 3 out of 5 or 2 out of 5 right there, right? One, because you haven't asked me who I am. Two, you haven't told me anything about it. You just showed me a car, and now you're saying, you know, the after the prospect says, I need to think about it. Yeah, no problem. Take your time. I'll be here if you need me. No, there's no control. There's no diagnosis. There's no attempt to isolate the real objection. There's no information, like I said. There's no name. There's no, you know, where you're from. Like quick information that you would need to help understand that, right? And this doesn't just work off scripts, but it works off a real scenario, a real conversation, right? You're having a conversation with me. I'm a professional, right? In this case, no, you're a rookie. Yeah, no problem. Take your time. I'll be here if you need me. Even if I got 10, 20 years experience. I see people still say that. Like, I need to think about it. Yeah, help them think about it. Give them more information, right? Don't lose the deal. The deal's dead. Done. Simple, right? So let's go to the professional itself, right? And I'm gonna make this an actual right. There closes, right? But I'm going to give you a scenario here. It's something I just came up with. I need to think about it. Car salesman professional, right? Absolutely. Usually when someone says that, it's one of three things: price, payment, or spouse. Give them the three options. Which one is it for you? Or that's exactly why I came to you, right? This is exactly why I asked you these questions. Absolutely. When somebody says that, it's one of three things: either the price, the payment, or your spouse. In this case, his spouse is it, right? But whatever, right? You kind of get the gist of it. And which one is it for you? Right? The prospect's going to say, "Oh, the payment's a little higher than I wanted." In the conversation, say for example, you have a car that's you know uh, 100 grand, right? And they're looking to spend 80 to 90 on a fantastic car, right? That's worth over 200,000. That's worth over $120,000. Or even a 40 to 50,000 or 40 to 60,000 dollar job, and they know the numbers in their head, right? And you haven't even said anything yet. And sometimes it's like, you haven't talked about numbers, which is good because that'll give the customer feedback and it'll give the takeaway there. You're just giving them that pamphlet and like, take away with that, right? And that's stuff you would do in like in posts and marketing posts on LinkedIn and Instagram. And the prospect right away, the payment is a little higher than I wanted. You don't even know what the payment is yet, right? And the professional right away, what I would say is, hey, look, absolutely, when the right, you give me that answer, got it. If we got the payment to where you're comfortable, is there anything else stopping you from taking this home today? You're still making them think about it at that time, right? So you went from payment, right, in this scenario, right, because you answered the price, the payment, the spouse, right? And then in this one here, and I'm gonna right, and this is car salesman. Just look at this the way it's been. This is the way it's played out, and understand like in car sales, you know, you don't get your quota, you don't get your numbers, you don't get your commission, right? You need your commission here, right? That's what you're thinking about, right? So got it. And you're helping the customer at the same time. The customer's like, hey, I need to think about it. To the payment is a little higher than I wanted. You gave them those three options. I call it the best, the better, and um, the simple, the better, the best, right? The simple, the better, the best. So recommended option is usually the better one, but you have your simple and your best one, right? But again, price, payment, and spouse, three objections. You're in threes, right? It's one of three things. You're giving them options. You're not just giving them like, yeah, no problem. Take your time. I'll be here for you. Like, I'm just the car guide, tour guide, answer questions. I'm your service center, your service desk. Come to me. I'll answer all your questions, right? 20 years experience, you can't even ask questions or answer questions like, oh, let you do it yourself, like you don't do that. Come on, man. Right away, I tell you to go home. Even if you lost a potential client, and I was able to get that potential client, and I made an X amount of commission on that client, and you lost that client, I would have let you go home right now, right? So car salesman, got it. If we got the payment to where you feel comfortable, remember, it was, I'll need to think about it too. Payment is a little higher than I wanted. Now, this is where you're kind of playing with that scenario like, okay, payment is a little higher than I wanted. What can we do with that? Got it. If we got the payment to where we feel comfortable, is there anything else stopping you from taking this home today? Like I want you to take this home today. I don't want you to leave without taking this car today. I want you to buy it. And the prospect would say, hey, no, that wouldn't do it, right? No, that wouldn't do it, right? Perfect. Let's adjust the structure. That would do it, right? So basically saying no in this aspect works in your favor, right? Instead of saying yes and no, you have that, okay, got it. If we get the payment to where we feel comfortable, is there anything else? So no, right? There's nothing else in this instance, right? From taking this home today. So if he's saying no, that would do it. Basically saying, yeah, I want it today. He's interested in the car. I can tell right away when I'm looking at the customer. If the customer is circling like, a seagull looking for food, and you, the car salesman's going out there giving them that food. So you need to be able to feed them the questions and give them the right information, right? And no, that wouldn't do. And this is where no works in this scenario. As and getting the prospect to say no, because no deal close, right? That's what you have to understand the exit questions. So if no, if the close is easy, right? So for example, if you either like X or you like Y or you like Z, at the end of the day, you would be against moving forward towards achieving the thing that you want or achieving the things that you told me before, like your about the price, about the payment, about the car, about anything, right? And you said that you wanted that in the beginning of your conversation, right? So what would you be against moving forward to do something like that today, right? Like, is there anything else stopping you from taking this home today? Same concept. No, get him to say no. That close is easy, right? There you go. There's your close, right? That would do it. So he's telling you right now, right? So as a professional, perfect. Let's adjust the structure and earn your business right now. Adjustment terms, down payment, trade. Professional goes, okay, this puts you at 485 a month. Fair enough to move forward. Yeah, let's do it. Work with the numbers now. You got the business. You've adjusted the structure. You've earned this business. You've adjusted the terms. You've given down payment. You've given the trade value of his old car. You've given him what you had to give, right? And the professional says, "Hey, this puts you at 485 a month." Right? That's when you can start talking about numbers. Fair to move forward. You're giving them that this is what it is. This is what we got right now. Let's talk. This is what we're. Are you feeling comfortable with this? Right? And in that scenario, a lot of the times you'll get the customers who want to pay that amount of money just so that, sorry, this up a little bit here. This up, sorry, guys. Right? So just a little bit bigger. So you guys kind of get the gist here. Okay. So let's move this out of the way, right? So we're still doing the car salesman example. So remember, you're adjusting the term, you're adjusting the down payment. You as a car salesman, distinguished car salesman, can now adjust the terms, adjust given the down payment and the trade, right? So this puts you at 485 a month, for example. Fair enough to move forward. Aspect, yeah, let's do it. Those occurs, right? So that's where your step four comes in. So if you're going back to the steps, you've given the objection, how we talked about how the sales rookie in this sales example handles it with the couple, and how the sales professional sales broker handles it, and how the close that actually happens, right? So let's do this. Yeah, let's do this, right? So he's happy, right? That's the close right there, closed. Right? That's the closure. Um, right. There's no really a way to kind of dissect the prospect and says, yeah, let's do it. That's his language that he chooses, right? So that's the language that he chose. It's not the professional language to use. But yeah, let's do it. You'll get that sales professional and more response after saying, awesome, I'm really glad we're moving forward. Just to confirm, here's what we've agreed on. And sometimes that's the best close is after he says, yeah, give him that, awesome, I'm really glad that we're moving forward. Just to confirm, here's what we've agreed on, so everything is clear. Not all the time in this scenario because you made it quick. You worry, you get worried sometimes that, like I said before, you're visualizing and practicing success at that point when he says yeah. So you're getting ready. You're getting ready to spark up your cigar at that point, right? And you're getting too excited, which is not really something that I would want you to do, especially in that scenario. Keep it calm, celebrate behind closed doors. Celebrate your wins after, right? After he's got in the car. Don't celebrate just yet. Go out there and sell again, right? Think about it that way, right? So awesome. I'm really glad we're moving forward. Just to confirm, here's what we've agreed on. So everything is clear. Then briefly discuss his terms, his down payment, his trade, right? Or the next steps. And I want you to feel comfortable and confident with every part of this because success for you is our goal, right? Not just mine, our goal. And the steps we've mapped out will get you there exactly. Now, the only thing I left is to get you started so you can begin seeing results immediately. Let's make it official and take the first step together. That way, you're framing your success and you're linking those two decisions to their outcome and making them feel inevitable, right? So let's make it official and take the first step together. So you're inviting him to take the first step together and congrats, sort of like a congratulations there, right? That's what the car salesman would do, right? So let's go ahead and talk about the next one that we talked about is we'll talk about insurance. Example number 4, right? Oh, sorry. We'll talk about real estate, writing the offer, and this is about writing the offer. So we want to, and this is an objection that you'll see a lot. So that's the car salesman. I'm just going to erase that right now. Right. Um, So, we talked about the salesman. We finished the salesman example. Now, we're now working on the real estate example. And this is the objection where we're going to say, instead of saying, I need to think about it, we're going to say, we want to look at a few more houses now. And real estate is a little bit different, right? We want to look at a few more houses. And you always get that potential buyer that wants to look at a few more houses. And we want to see, and the prospect will always say, we want to see a few more before deciding. Sure, there's plenty on the market. Like rookie, come on, man. Like what did we just talk about, rookie, right? And again, I'm gonna write this down for you so you guys kind of get the visual um, on this example because I want these examples to be into your, and you could take notes on these too. And this is the sales rookie agent, right, versus the prospect. I'm a prospect, and remember, we have Ricky, we have solid prospect, and we have our sales professional warriors, myself, whatever, right? So sure, there are plenty on the market. I want to see a few more. Sure, there are plenty on the market, right? And that's a rookie response. Why is that a rookie response from that objection? And I'll tell you why. What happened? Right? Sure, there are plenty on the market. You're encouraging you're now encouraging in this indecision right there, right? You're reinforcing fear on the prospect. There's really no urgency of actually thinking about that house that you just showed him, rather than moving on to the next or the third, fourth house, right? And there's no qualification there, right? And like if we were to expand on this, when we have a prospect, even if the agent is like, he's got 20 years experience, got all his license, or a broker, even a broker, could be an agent or a broker, or broker. And it's like, okay, Sure, there are plenty on the market. Let me know when you're ready. Like you're encouraging that prospect feels it's safe to delay and doesn't feel you're not giving them that interest. You're not giving them that interest in you feel that buyer worries that there might be something better out there. You're reinforcing fear. There's no urgency. There's no deadline or reason to act now, especially there are plenty on the market for the houses. Let me know if you're ready to decide. There's no deadline or reason to act now. There's no qualification. The prospect will leave the conversation. And I've seen a lot of rookies or agents or brokers do this. The momentum is lost and the chance to close is delayed or disappeared. Why would you do that, right? It's like, think about it. Sure, there's plenty on the market. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let me go back and get you some houses. Be prepared. Why did you show them that house in the first place? You're leaving the prospect, leaves the conversation right there. I would, right? Your momentum is lost. Sure, it would. And the chances to close is delayed or it just disappears. You're losing on it, right? And well, you got to think of it in a way where it's like either you know what to say or you don't know what to say, and sometimes it's like, okay, you know we want to see more houses. That makes sense. Professional. That makes sense. Quick question: this home didn't exist, would we be still looking? You're inviting that conversation, right? Probably. So what's missing here? Professional says is a layout, price, and emotion. Remember when we talked about the car salesman? Similar thing, price, payment, or spouse. So what's missing here? Is it the layout? Is it the price? Of course it is. You haven't given any of that information yet. It's like saying you haven't even introduced yourself. It's actually perfect. We're just nervous. You see how that conversation changes with the prospect? It's actually perfect. We're nervous. Okay, that tells me this is one. The hesitation is in the house. It's the commitment. If it checks as the boxes and fits your budget, waiting only increases the risk. And let's secure it and negotiate with their strength. Prospect right away. Let's get the offer written. Right? You're right. Let's write it. And right there, that sales rookie. I mean the real estate agent now works. Right? So going back to the point where it's like I understand seeing other houses can be. Here's another example. I understand. And this is an agent or a broker, especially in this instance, right? These are guys with 20 even 30 years experience that have understood the market and have understood what it takes to sell and to talk and to communicate and use the proper language, right? And these are our real estate agents, brokers, and these are the professional warriors, right? I call these my professional warriors, right? So I understand seeing other homes can be helpful. Quick question. You're inviting them, right? You're asking them the question. If this house met all your must haves and was within your budget, would you even keep looking? Or is this the hesitation just about making sure it feels right? Right? You went from, well, sure, there's plenty on the market to, I understand seeing other homes can be helpful. Quick question, right? Your tonality, you're on the same frequency. If this house met all your must haves and was within your budget, would you even keep looking? Or is the hesitation just about making sure it feels right, right? Uh well, the prospect will say, yeah, well, it does meet host most of our needs, but we just wanted to be sure, right? You're changing that decision in him, right? Well, it meets most of our needs, but we just want to be sure, right? That makes sense, the agent would say, or the prospect. I mean, sorry, the real estate broker professional would say that makes sense. The hesitation is normal. Here's the thing: homes like this don't stay on the market long, right? So let's get that home sold today. I can hold this one for you while you make a final decision. So you're giving them that option, like, hey, you know, you're we like you. We want you to buy this home. We understand. So you don't miss out. Would you like me to do that? Right? You're keeping that, and I see this even in travel. Travel agents will keep deals, and they'll keep airlines for 24 to 48 hours based on the rules that are given, and they'll keep those for 24 to 48 hours so that the customer has time to decide. But again, you want that customer to buy today as well too, right? So yeah, that would help. Perfect. Let's get the offer in place. You're giving them that offer now. You kept the home. You're locking them in, right? And securing it today so you're covered. The close occurs, right? Step four, the close occurs, and that actually happens, right? You've qualified hesitation, you've maintained your urgency, right? And again, that close occurred right there, done, closed, close the deal, right? You close the deal, and from him saying, I wouldn't mind helping, right? So, this is what the conversation looked like. You guys don't copy this after. You guys can copy this after, but again, it's up to you, right? So again, you got, well, it doesn't meet most of our needs, but we just want to be sure. That makes sense. The hesitation is normal. Here's the thing: homes like this don't stay on the market long. I can hold this one for you while you make the final decision so you don't miss out. Would you like me to do that? Yes, that would help. Closed, right? Done. Your offer is a control solution. You maintain the urgency. You've given a lot of takeaways, right? And these role plays, again, these role plays, they help you understand these specific scenarios. And I'm giving you one scenario of a car salesman, and my second option is the real estate agent. We also have, I said, we also have the mortgage and the insurance broker. They're similar, but again, it's all in the way you frame, right? Your close, right? So the professional agent will say, yeah, let's get your offer in place and secure it today, right? Let's get your offer in place, right? This is after the close, right? This is what I want you, right? It's not always about the close, right? Unless they don't care, but there's always that, let's expand on the close now. And there's always a close after the close, right? Or the close squared, I call it the close squared, right? The power of two. You don't have to, but again, this is optional. But again, this is more of like, in time, right? And perfect. Let's get your offer in place and secure it, right? So that you're covered. So what's happening is, again, you're qualifying hesitation, right? So, you're basically, when I said qualifies hesitation, the agent first identifies why the prospect is hesitating. So instead of guessing in this instinct, they're asking questions earlier. If this meets your needs, would you still look? Right? This will ensure the closing move is targeted at a real objection and not a surface level excuse, right? So when I talk about maintaining urgency, and this is why the professional close occurs, right? And I'm going to expand on these four steps and tips, because these four steps and tips will kind of help you understand and break down what I mean by what the professional is trying to say. So I'm breaking down his his um his objection language, or his language, so that I know what he's telling the customer and how the customer feels and what the customer feels at that point, right? So there's no you're not really forcing the customer to buy here. Like, you're giving them that, I'm met most of our needs. I understand, that makes sense. Hesitation is normal. Here's the thing, a prospect. Homes like this don't stay on the market long. So, I can hold this one for you while you make the final decision. So give them that authority, give them that. leadership quality. Give them that thing so they feel in charge, so you don't miss out. Would you like me to do that? Right, and then that's where the yes, that would help come in. You've now closed that option, so you've fulfilled those four. You fulfilled you fulfilled those four steps right above here. You fulfilled these four steps, right? So you fulfilled that. You fulfill that, right? So we're talking about 3 and 4 here, right? And with the given objection, right, where the sales rookie made the mistake, and looking at that, right? You're looking at the qualifying hesitation, you're maintaining urgency, you're offering that control. And if I were to break that down for you, and what that kind of means is what I said earlier about the agent hesitating identifies why the prospect is hesitating, right? So there is some form of hesitation from the prospect, right? And if we're kind of expanding on that closing breakdown, you're looking at, instead of guessing, they asked the question earlier, if this meets your needs, would you still look, right? So you're given that hesitation instead of guessing, right? So this will ensure the closing move is targeted at the real objection, not a service level excuse, right? So it ensures that the closing move is targeted at the real objection. So the initial objection of, we want to see a few more before deciding, right? To while this doesn't meet most of our needs, but we just want to be sure, right? So you're ensuring that closing move happens, right? And the close did happen in this instant. So maintaining urgency, phrases like securing it today, right? So we said securing it today, right? So let's go back to our pen here. Securing it today. Where do we say securing it today? Um, Securing it today. Here you go. Perfect. Let's secure it today so you're covered. So that creates a sense of immediacy. You're still maintaining urgency, right? But phrases like securing it today, so you've got covered, creates a sense of immediacy, right? That's okay, right? Um, Urgency is framed positive on a positive aspect. So it's about protecting the opportunity. You're not really prospering the pressuring the prospect. So it's about protecting the opportunity in this instance, right? So you're protecting the opportunity. We don't have to tell you guys 100 times, but you guys, you know, you know your business more than ever, right? You've got all the training certificates, you've got all the prospects, you got all the leads, you just broke your first $60,000 commission check, and now you're so happy, and you've gotten the second prospect or lead, and now you just screwed it up again. So, something happened in between. So remember, the sales professional agent always gets the offer in place and secures it today so that you're covered, right? And remember, you're protecting the opportunity, right? You don't want the real estate agent to leave. You're protecting the opportunity. Okay, you're not pressuring the prospect. And again, that prevents the decisions from happening, from being delayed indefinitely, which is a common rookie mistake, right? Again, I apologize that all this writing, it seems a little bit black and white, a little bit, but if you do not see how I break this down and how I write this out, you'll understand, right? So if I talk too fast, again, you're not going to listen, right? And I've been in so many lectures and labs, hands-on lectures in universities and colleges where all they do is talk and they expect you to know everything. And then you'll take the recording and you'll have to you'll have to go on ChatGPT and get like a recording of it. So somebody writes notes, or you just need to write notes. And sometimes, yeah, writing notes helps you. And in this video, this is what I'm here to do, is I'm here to help you learn both ways of listening and writing notes at the same. So again, you're preventing the decision from being delayed indefinitely, right? The urgency, which is a common rookie mistake. I don't care if the rookie's got 50 to 20 years experience. I've seen it all the time, right? Again, number three, you're offering a controlled, you're offering that controlled solution. We're right here, right? The controlled solution, right? So we talked about qualifying hesitation. We talked about maintaining urgency. Right? Guys, I want you to write your points, your notes, right? Get your notes there. If you even if you're in real estate or you're not a real estate, you're just a car salesman or insurance or whatever, you still got to write these notes down because it applies to everybody, right? Just the scenarios are a little bit different. You see a similarity here? It's not that hard, right? You're offering a controlled solution. You, as the agent, provides, or real estate agent or broker provides um, a clear path forward. Place the offer now, hold the home, reduce the risk, right? Homes like this don't stay on the market. I can hold this one for you while you make the final decision, right? So you don't miss out. Would you like me to do that, right? So provide a clear path, place the offer now. Sorry, let's get your offer in place. My apologies. Let's get your offer in place. Right? So place the offer now. Hold the home, right? Like you said before, hold the home so I can hold this, right? In your statements, right? Just remember what you say, and then at that point, you're reducing the risk, right, of him actually leaving or the home being sold, right, from another client, a potential client. Houses are great, and it's not all about that customer liking the home, but it's about the decisions that you're helping them make at the same time, right? You're offering these decisions for them, right, while you make the final decision, right? Give them those three options, make them feel like it's right for them as well too, right? That's all in the sales and the marketing pictures and stuff. When you're with the customer, it's all about selling the home now. They should have all that information, right? And you as a rookie should have all that information, because if you're not, then get up, leave, right? Walk around with that piece of paper, give them a copy, give them something to look at as well too. Keep them busy instead of rolled up into a baton and walking around with a baton, or walking around with a notepad. Sometimes it's good to write notes as you're walking around. I've seen that happen too. So the prospect now has structured safe action, like even get the customer involved in the prospect, saying, hey, I wrote this down for you, I can write this in an email later, right? Or just help them understand what you guys talked about, so you can review these 3 points if they feel that solves their problem, right? So the prospect now has a structured safe action that solves their problem. I don't want to miss out, right? I don't want to miss out. So I don't want to miss out, right? Remember that. So I don't want to miss out, rather than just a vague plan. So it's a controlled offer solution. Move the prospect from indecisive to action. Step 4, right? Move the prospect from indecision to action. Most prospects, by combining clarity, by combining urgency, by combining controlled solutions, all 3 steps, the professional shifts the energy from I'm sure to I'm committed now. Right? So number 4 is basically taking 1, 2, 3, and 4, qualifying hesitation, urgency, clarity, maintaining that urgency, and controlled solution, offering that controlled solution, right? From I'm sure to I'm committed now. Right? You're the professional. I'm committed. So you're shifting that energy, right? So this avoids last minute objections from the customer, from the client, from the prospect, and establishes a confidence in both the agent and the prospect. So keep that in mind, right? And again, yes, this works. All right, often stop, right? Or just send a contract. Often stops. Professionals own the moment, right? Get in there, work. The money will come to you eventually. Own the moment, guide the perspective to act immediately when making them feel empowered. And you're not really pressuring them. The close is smooth because it aligns with the prospect's needs, right? You're reinforcing trust and you're obviously reducing the risk, right? Yes, that would help, right? From no, that wouldn't do it. Same thing. So yes and no responses, getting into how to pull out the verbiage, how to give that language, what answer the no and yes, and how that you and yes will close the deal. And we talked about this earlier on, right? Like if no, the close is easy, right? Like, would you be against moving forward towards something like that today? right? Or got it. If we got the payment, for example, in the car salesman, you were comfortable. Is there anything else stopping you, right, from taking this home today? No, that would do it. Bang, you got sold. Let's adjust the structure. And you're in your business right now. You're inviting that comfort. Like the shoulders are now relaxed. They're not shrug up or attacked, right? Or down. Like they don't know what they're doing. Or they don't know what they're saying, right? Because you're the professional, right? Right. So that's that. All right. And now I want to go to my third example. Oops. I want to go to my third example. And oops, go back. All right. So my third example, I'll move this up, is we talked about mortgages. Um, what are we at here? Well, we're pretty far in, but I'm gonna cut that and I'll probably make this into two-part series. And I will, yeah, I'm gonna make this into a two-part series, right? And I will finish off my part two regarding mortgages and insurances, just to kind of give you guys a break on that and what's actually happening. So, and then I'll get into the real closing formula. So this is what I want to do. We'll continue. So for next part, which is our second parts of the series, right? We'll talk about. Let's discuss the following. All right. So one complete example 3 and 4. Four, right? And you guys can do this as a homework, right? And then message me or even call me just to kind of get some training if you want. You're more than welcome to message me on WhatsApp, and discuss some of these things together, right? So I want you to we're gonna complete that, right? Together. Uh we will we will complete we will complete examples 3 and 4. And then again, you can also do this as homework, right? Number two, we'll also talk about what's actually happening. So I'll talk about the differences. The difference is not confidence versus the difference is not personality. And I'll talk about the differences between the sales rookie and the sales professional happening. And this example is sales rookie or agent or mortgage broker or insurance agent, right? Well, let's just stick to the rookie professional warrior. And then we'll talk about the real closing formula, right? And then I'll have a final thought. But before I go, thanks for joining me for part one today. Remember, the difference between a rookie and a sales warrior isn't just a skill, right? So it's a mindset. Let's keep calm, ask the right questions, always focus on the results, and lead with clarity, right? So I'll talk to you guys in my next video, and I hope to see you soon.